In the 1950s, the CIA, a secretive organization, started a program. It was called MK Ultra. This program was hidden from the public. They wanted to control people's minds. MK Ultra was top secret. The CIA used code names. They didn't want anyone to know. They studied mind control, wanting to use it against their enemies. The Cold War was happening. The US was afraid of Russia. They believed Russia was using mind control. The CIA wanted to fight back. They wanted to create their own methods. MK Ultra was unethical. They experimented on people without consent. They used drugs and torture, aiming to see how the mind worked. The CIA had a goal. They wanted to control people's thoughts. They wanted to make people do things they wouldn't normally do. They studied many methods. Drugs were a big part of it. LSD was a new drug, and the CIA thought it could be useful. They gave it to people without their knowledge. Hypnosis was another method. They wanted to control people in a trance, thinking they could plant suggestions and make people do their bidding. The CIA also studied brainwashing. They looked at how cults operated. They wanted to break down a person's will and rebuild it in their image. MK Ultra was cruel. They experimented on real people, including unsuspecting citizens and their own agents. One experiment involved LSD. They gave it to a CIA agent who didn't know what they were giving him. He had a bad trip and jumped out of a window. He died. Another experiment involved electroshock therapy. They used it on people with mental illness, wanting to see if they could erase memories and implant new ones. These experiments were torture. They caused immense suffering, leaving many people permanently scarred. Some never recovered from the trauma. Section 4. Lasting impacts, the legacy of MK Ultra. MK Ultra was eventually exposed, revealing a dark chapter in American history. In the 1970s, Congress launched a thorough investigation into the covert operations of the CIA. They found out about the program. They were horrified by the extent of the unethical experiments conducted on unwitting citizens. The CIA tried to destroy the evidence, but some documents survived, revealing the true nature of the program. They showed the extent of the program, detailing the various mind control experiments that were conducted. They showed the cruelty of the experiments, which included the use of drugs, hypnosis, and other forms of psychological manipulation. MK Ultra left a dark legacy, casting a long shadow over the intelligence community and the government. It eroded trust in the government, leading to widespread public outrage and demands for accountability. It showed how far they were willing to go in the name of national security, raising serious ethical concerns. It raised questions about ethics and morality, prompting debates about the limits of government power. The program may be over, but its effects linger. Many victims still suffer from the psychological and physical trauma inflicted upon them. They live with the consequences of the experiments, struggling to find peace and understanding. They seek justice for what was done to them, hoping that their stories will prevent such atrocities from happening again. Section 5. Mind Control Today. Subtle Techniques. MK Ultra may be gone, but the techniques of mind control have evolved and adapted to modern times. Mind control is not a relic of the past. It still exists today, but in more subtle and pervasive forms. It's woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Advertising, for instance, is a sophisticated form of mind control. Through carefully crafted messages and imagery, it influences our choices and behaviors. Marketers and advertisers use psychology to tap into our desires and emotions, making us more likely to buy their products. They create desires in us that we didn't even know we had, making us believe that we need things we don't. This leads to overconsumption and regret as we fill our lives with unnecessary items. Propaganda is another powerful form of mind control. Historically, it has been used to shape public opinion and behavior on a massive scale. Governments use propaganda to influence us, to control the narrative, and to maintain power. The media plays a crucial role in this, as it can be used to disseminate propaganda and shape public perception. By controlling the information we receive, they can influence how we think and feel about various issues. Social media has become a powerful tool for mind control in the digital age. It has the ability to reach millions of people instantly. It can be used for good, spreading positive messages and connecting people, or for bad, spreading misinformation and manipulating opinions. Social media platforms can manipulate us by showing us content that aligns with their own agendas, keeping us engaged and influencing our thoughts. Algorithms are designed to show us what they want us to see, often reinforcing our existing beliefs and biases. By shaping the information we consume, they can subtly influence our opinions and beliefs, guiding us towards certain conclusions, without us even realizing it. Section 6. The importance of awareness protecting our minds. Mind control is real. It's not just a concept from science fiction or conspiracy theories. It's a subtle, pervasive influence that can shape our thoughts, beliefs, and actions without us even realizing it. It's important to be aware of it. In today's digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information from various sources: news outlets, social media, advertisements, and even entertainment. Each of these sources has the potential to influence our minds in ways we might not be fully aware of. We need to protect our minds. This means taking proactive steps to ensure that we are not easily swayed by external influences. It involves being mindful of the content we consume and the sources we trust. We need to be critical thinkers. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information objectively and make a reasoned judgment. It's about questioning the validity of the information presented to us and not taking things at face value. We need to question everything. This doesn't mean being cynical or distrusting everything, but rather approaching information with a healthy dose of skepticism. Ask yourself, who is providing this information? What is their agenda? Is there evidence to support their claims? We need to be skeptical of information. In an era of fake news and misinformation, skepticism is a valuable tool. It helps us discern fact from fiction and make informed decisions. We need to be aware of our biases. Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. They can affect our decisions and perceptions, often without us realizing it. We need to be aware of how our minds work. Understanding the mechanisms of our own cognition can help us recognize when we are being influenced and take steps to counteract it. We need to be aware of the techniques. Mind control techniques can be subtle and insidious. They can range from propaganda and advertising to more overt forms of manipulation. We need to know how they work. By understanding the methods used to influence our thoughts and behaviors, we can better protect ourselves from being manipulated. We need to be able to spot them. Recognizing the signs of manipulation is the first step in defending against it. Look for inconsistencies, emotional appeals, and attempts to bypass rational thought. We need to be able to resist them. Education is key. The more we know about how mind control works, the better equipped we are to resist it. We need to teach people about mind control. Awareness and education are our best defenses. By spreading knowledge, we can help others protect themselves. We need to teach them how to protect themselves. This involves providing them with the tools and strategies to recognize and resist manipulation. We need to empower them to think for themselves. Ultimately, the goal is to foster independent thinking and resilience against external influences. By doing so, we can create a society of informed, critical thinkers who are less susceptible to manipulation. Section 7, Conclusion, a call to action. MKUltra was a dark chapter, but it taught us valuable lessons. It taught us about the dangers of unchecked power. It taught us about the importance of ethics. We must never forget the victims. We must honor their suffering. We must fight for justice for them. We must make sure this never happens again. We need to be vigilant. We need to hold our leaders accountable. We need to protect our freedoms. We need to protect our minds. The fight for our minds continues. Let us be aware of the choices we make. Let us be critical and not take news at face value. Let us be free to be ourselves with individual integrity.